Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm here with a guest today. I use a EMR software like all of us do, and the one I use is DSN, and Sam happens to be the CEO of DSN software, so we have him on the show today. I assume, Sam, it's Sam Munakl, that you didn't just wake up one day and become the CEO of DSN, right?
No, absolutely not.
Wasn't your first job?
Not my first job.
Tell us how you got here.
My background is in cybersecurity software engineering. Pretty much I have a lot of experience in medical software. And I got exposed by chance to oral surgery, helping them with their technology. And I did see the gap in technology and oral surgery and in dental in general. My journey with DSN started with the passion for solving real problems in healthcare. My background, obviously, in cybersecurity and software really helped. But what really drew me was the impact technology can have in making life easier for providers and the industry being so behind. So oral surgeons, periodontists, endodontists are highly skilled specialists, but the business side of their practice often add complexity they don't need. So I saw DSN as a solution for it. It was the best in the market at that time. In my opinion, still the best in the market.
So just so people know, I have a group practice. We have 4 locations, 5 surgeons. And running, all the locations and everything before DSN, probably I think we switched about 8 or 9 years ago from WinOMS to DSN. And we switched for a lot of reasons, but ended up loving it. It's a big process to switch software. I mean, as you know, it's
a big commitment, and I'm grateful
you move. Servers, everything you got to do, right? So, and you had mentioned before cybersecurity. So you have a background in cybersecurity?
Yeah, I have I graduated from Maryland for a master in cybersecurity, and I have a bachelor in computer engineering.
Oh my gosh. So can you help me with all those spam emails I get where it says
of course.
Unsubscribe and it never works?
Of course. Yeah, I'd love to do it.
It says like unsubscribe and you put your email in the list, and then I feel like they send your list out to like 10 other people and they just keep it going.
Yes.
I don't feel like it works. I don't know.
They have like 20 mails they spam you with.
I feel like it's gotten worse in the past 5 years. So I don't know. Maybe you can do something with that. But cybersecurity is one thing. And then I had read somewhere that, when you were involved in that before, there was a case of some cyberbullying or something that went on. Is that like the same thing?
I was involved in
No, I think
cases.
you helped out in a case.
Yes, I did.
Right?
You're absolutely
yeah. So what happened?
So this is like not the business side. This is continued to be like an engineer trying to solve problems. Same exact pattern. So, and unfortunately, like here in the local community, there was like a cyberbullying case, and I took it among myself, the team here, to help. It was like an overseas case, and it was like really a bizarre situation because it was like a young individual involved, and unfortunately, she was like a victim of cyberbullying. So we use all the technology we have and the resources we have to solve the issue and remove all the data from everywhere in the web. And even our legal team was involved here to take care of that individual.
That's crazy. Because cybersecurity has been in the news, as of the last year and a half or so, because all those hacks to the major healthcare. I mean, that's crazy that we're probably still affected from that, I think. As far as all that went on.
And I feel like everything we do, even in a DSN or aspect of life of practice management software, now it's focused a little bit on security, on providing that peace of mind for the doctors. Like we get involved in a lot of different cases, even at DSN. Like while we provide the practice management software, we have like the cloud and we have the server. And when it's like you're hosting on your server, it's your responsibility. You have to take care of everything, including security.
Right. That's what we do.
And if your IT is not doing the backup, it's not doing the security, we get these calls like day in and day out of people are victim of cyber attacks. And they're like, my database, my backup, my data, my patients, what do I do?
No, there's issues. I would say everyone, but so many dentists and practitioners have a CT scanner in the office, like a cone beam CT, right? That's a lot of data. Right. If you're just taking like some X-rays or a Panorex, that's one thing. But if you're taking a cone beam CAT scan on most every patient, that's a lot of data to keep around. And then when you refer that patient as a dental office to a specialist, let's say a periodontist or oral surgeon, some offices are sending that CT scan through, I don't know, weird channels even. That's obviously probably not the most encrypted. And people use Dropbox, right, for these things a lot of times. I've seen issues, actually, I've heard of issues around here where someone sends a Dropbox link and it looks like it's coming from a practice, but it's not. And then when you click the link and someone in the office clicks the link, it opens up you have to just relog into your Dropbox and just makes you go through all that again, but it's not really Dropbox, right? So
Once they
they're
get
pretty
your password,
sophisticated.
now they have access, and now they really have all your patient data.
And that's like legit, and that's happened. And so that's just so crazy because with all this data floating around, you can't just email a CT scan. So you have to find like Dropbox or other ways to do it. And so all that's part of it now.
And a lot of people doesn't know, like, hey, if it's like there is some, like the basic subscription of Dropbox is for free, but it doesn't have any of the security or the compliance for it. And they're like, okay, like I think it's secure. Dropbox is a big company, so why not using it? It's all part of education within the industry.
So the free version isn't as well encrypted as the paid version. No. There's a difference in encryption. That's crazy. I wouldn't even think that. But yeah, they don't put that in the bold print on Dropbox, I guess. I've been performing full arch dental implant surgery since 2012. I started back then with Nobel implants, and I continue to use them today. Getting consistent results over time and seeing these restorations in function over that length of time has basically strengthened my use of the product. There's over 100 implant systems out there. I just choose the one that's been the most consistent for me. So why DSN? So why is this DSN a lot different, or is it?
DSN is very different. It's a great question because DSN have a very streamlined decision process. Our mission and goal is to change the industry, to bring all this innovation together. And we are after that mission. We've seen in a way, we've seen a lot of new companies, and DSN has been in the market since the 70s. So DSN is not a new company by any stretch of the imagination.
Really? I had no idea.
I got involved with DSN in 2020, but DSN has been the leader in the market way before me. But with that being said, we've seen a lot of companies come into the market with a mission. Sometimes it's a crazy mission, either by bringing some electric vehicles or going to the space or doing some crazy stuff. For us, we want to make the provider's life easier. We want to change the industry. We want to bring disruptive innovation to that antiquated industry that no one want to put the money or the energy to do. And before that, I was, honestly, I was in a meeting with a lot of oral surgeons that they had OneRMS, they had OMS Vision, they had DSN software. And I go in there and I talk to them, or they use like some dental software. And they ask me, Sam, as an engineer, what do you want to do? And like, how can you solve this? How can you solve my gold key issue? How can you solve my server issues that has, like this software or that software? And I get on the phone and I call the engineers at this company or that company. That's where I'm like, I start actually referring people to DSN prior to me being part of it. And then I saw an opportunity to make a real difference. And I decided, like, you know what? The best way to make a difference is for me to start being involved in that piece of technology, make the provider's life easier, and take the matters to my own hand as an engineer, and just start bringing this innovation to the industry.
Yeah, that was the reason at the time that we switched from WinOMS to DSN. For my day-to-day, it made a difference, in my charting and things like that from our older software. But really where it made the biggest difference at the time was with the front staff. So what they're doing, because as specialists, so you guys work with specialists, right? It's oral surgery, periodontist, and endodontist, right? So as specialists, most of our patients are referred to us from dentists, from other providers, right? So we have a nonstop new patients come in, get them checked in, all the paperwork. We're not seeing the same patients over and over, typically like a dental office does, where they have all their data all the time. We're always inputting new stuff. It's just nonstop, right? So with that, just to streamline all that in and then create little lists, what we like about DSN in our office is the reports. Like there's so many different reports that we can run and kind of, our referrals are dropping off. Like what's happening? Like what's this pattern? Like it's really nice that way. And that all happens behind the scenes. I don't know how to run a report, to tell you the truth, but people in the office do. And so like, that's all very nice because I can just say, is there a report we can run that can tell us like why the referrals in this area, let's just say implant referrals have dropped off? Like, is there ways we can look at that? And they're like, yeah, we can do all that. And like, it's really nice to have all that data. And you had mentioned before in the beginning, so DSN offers a server-based, right? That's what we are. So we have servers. The issue with the servers on our end is there's a lifespan for a server and they're pretty expensive. For us to run 4 locations with a server, there's always server issues. We have an IT company that's been working with us. So that's another expense, right? You got to have an IT company doing all that stuff. It's pretty normal, I would say, nowadays, or someone helping you out that's legit. The server lifespan is what, 5, 6, 7 years, usually, something like that. And it's a big investment to redo another server. And so we are actually thinking of switching to the cloud-based DSN. So what's the difference? Like if someone wanted to switch from servers to cloud-based, because we're thinking the timing would be like maybe the lifespan of your server running out is probably a good time for a lot of offices to do that. Is
Absolutely.
that right?
Actually, the cloud story ties directly into my story of involvement with DSN. I was consulting for a very large practice, 15 plus locations, and they wanted to expand more. And this is like even prior to the full DSO and acquisition era, and consolidation that happened in the space. So at that time, they had to run fiber every time, and still like the case for servers. So they have to make sure that there is fiber available every time they want to expand into a location in order to run WinRMS efficiently. And they had imaging issues, backup issues, database issues. The dream was like, we need a full enterprise, scalable cloud practice management software.
Yeah.
We need a very good foundation with a very deep understanding of the industry to build on. And that was the move on DSN. So day one, after July of 2020, when I purchased DSN,
the deal was COVID. Right in the thick of COVID.
COVID time. It's like everybody's busy with COVID. We're going to get busy building an enterprise cloud. And that's what happened. Like we got on rebuilding the whole thing from scratch into an enterprise cloud practice management software. So the dream and the idea is for the practices to not be restricted by technology for growth or to really focus on patient care at a deep level. And that's what we built. We built a scalable solution. If you are a 1 location or you are 500 locations, you can come in and use DSN Cloud. You don't have to worry about security. You don't have to worry about backup. You don't have to coordinate updates with your IT. You can get the latest and greatest all the time.
So the cloud is continually updated? So you guys update it, or how does that work?
We update the cloud. We used to update the cloud actually in the very beginning every 2 weeks. We were going like on fire. Every 2 weeks, people are getting new features. Now we update the cloud every month. So every month, our providers are getting new features. Yep.
That's a lot. Is there any role for AI in cloud? I'm like jumping way ahead here probably.
Yes. So we actually not only now we have a fully enterprise practice management software that has all the traditional integrations from vital signs to imaging and whatnot. But there is so many exciting features. And if you want me to talk about the exciting features coming to DSN, I can talk about it right now.
I mean, for me, I'm just saying for me, like, because I don't know how to run reports. Like I'm a surgeon, I can do all that. I can pull teeth, I can, do whatever. But people in my office are really good at this, which is great. For me, if I had some sort of cloud help, like, hey, if I had this weird idea for a report I need to run and just check something, like I can just type it in. And then it just gives me the report. Like that would be the best thing for me. I would need something simplified just for me, but I understand.
Absolutely. So I want to say there is a few challenges today.
Yeah.
In the industry for specialists. There is a challenge of connectivity and a reliable solution to grow your practice, which is the cloud will solve that because you can grow, you can scale, you can do all that. There is a whole set of challenges again, which is no one really solved today at a high level, which is imaging.
Yeah.
And there is the ease of use.
A lot of data.
And AI now, and the evolving technology to keep up. And of course, the data. Yeah. So I will say we solved the first problem for that. We've been building it for the last few years, and we were very successful at it, taking all these offices to cloud in the last 2 years with DSN Cloud. Now we have, and we're about to launch, and we went beta with our state-of-the-art cloud imaging solution, which is allow you to access 2D, 3D anywhere in the world, regardless what CBCT you're using.
Oh, so you can look at CT scans through the software on the cloud?
Yes, on your iPad even, or share it with any doctor or any referrals.
That's actually so nice because everything is phone-based now. Like I also teach at the dental school around here, and everything now, like when you log in somewhere, like it sends you a link to your phone, like this is a code, like Duo Chat or like one of those things, right? And like, I feel like that's just ingrained in us. Like even now when we do our electronic prescriptions, I get a code to my phone. I can upload it like from my DSN it basically through a third-party software, right? So we can get our prescriptions sent in, it sends a thing to my phone where I approve it, and then I go back to the PC and click yes. So it's like all the security features are integrated with people's cell phones now.
Correct.
Pretty much. That's normal.
And that's the entire idea about like
Yeah.
how we can have accessibility easier, images easier, because I did find also like there is kind of like this loyalty to a brand. It's like a football team in oral surgery.
It's like Apple and Android.
Yeah, like and some people really like and love a certain brand of CBCT versus others.
Yeah,
people
true.
like the CareStream. People love the plan maker.
All
Other
our
people
four
swear
scanners
about the
same.
iCAD.
Yeah.
So as you grow, we don't want to restrict the providers to any certain brand. No matter the brand of CBCT, you will be able to use a unified cloud imaging solution.
That's nice.
And if patients are going between offices and you have a multi-location, you want to be able to click on the patient and see all the historical studies in the cloud at any time.
Yeah.
And in any case. And that's what we just launched. And we are investing so much on this technology to make it more accessible and better every day. So that's that aspect. So now we solved that. We have a huge investment in AI, and we want to tie it obviously to reporting modules. So when the provider come in and say like, what is my collection for the day? What is my outstanding claims?
Yeah.
It will give all the reports, aggregate all the data, and you'll just see it. And that's where we're heading right now.
That's awesome. The cool thing for me is like managing all that stuff from my phone potentially, or an iPad or something like that, or tablet, because that's so convenient and everyone's doing it in different avenues. You know, like it's just one of those things where people know how to do it and are used to it. And so even with a server, DSN is great, but I can see the benefits of jumping to cloud, you know, maybe when our server dies, you know, at some point, that'd probably be the best time to do it. But just for that data aspect alone, because now when I want to access a CT scan, I have to go to the drive that the server, that the office, the scan was taken in, upload it, copy it, paste it to a desktop, and then open it at a different, like it's a little bit more steps to do. And so I think with the cloud, if you can just access it from wherever, like that would be awesome. Like, you know, because everyone's getting the scans now, so it's nice.
And what's different about DSN and our cloud, we actually do a full data migration. So you will not know a difference. Like we take everything on DSN server, and now it is on an enterprise cloud environment. Everything is streamlined for you. So you won't lose any data or anything like that.
That's nice. Where are you guys located? Is this the US company, right? I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. We have two offices, one in Washington State and one in Oklahoma.
Nice. That's awesome. I just heard about the Washington State office. I didn't know that. I think that's probably been around a while. So
yeah, that's the legacy headquarters. Our new headquarters now in Tulsa.
Yeah. So we had already mentioned like what you see the future as, like within the next 5 years or so. What do you think, you know, the trend is going towards for you guys?
From a practice management software perspective, obviously AI is a trend right now. It's a big thing. I do believe AI will, you know, like the goal of AI to make people's life easy. And we want to make sure to see what doesn't add complexity, but what makes sense for the industry from RCM investment, and how RCM is a very complicated for a specialist because you have cross-coding. So we want to make sure that we continue to invest that. We invest on cross-coding and make sure that that process is streamlined and less painful. We want to invest more on AI and data and analytics to make that entire thing, surgeon life, easier. So I would say in the next 5 years, we want the surgeons to focus more on patient care and less on technology. And whatever we can use, even technology against technology versus AI to streamline the process, that's what we want to do. And that's where we're heading. Obviously, also referrals, all points, all accessibility, all of that. And that's our roadmap for the next five years.
Yeah, that is great. I mean, for me, like I just really want to get to the cloud. I think that would be super helpful for our practice going forward. So that's nice. Accessing patient data from your cell phone is very nice especially when you're on call. It's nice to be able to have a quick access to, because we are, you know, when we're on call. I could be called in by another doctor's patient because I'm on call that week for the whole office. And so like having that data available quickly is nice because it's not my patient. I just can look them up really quickly. Doesn't matter if I'm home or not. I'm not limited to a desktop or anything like that, or logging in remotely kind of thing. So that's actually really nice. Why oral surgery? Why specialists? Why not just expand all this? What do you guys see that specialists do you think are different in the way they practice, or is it just happens that DSN is just geared that way?
DSN started with specialty.
Yeah,
and we continue with specialty. And for me, personally, I got involved with this specialty because I see the lack of innovation and I see an opportunity to add a lot of value.
We get in a rut. That's true. That's true.
Unfortunately, like it is the way it is. Like it's a forgotten, like industry in a way. And it's just kind of like me being involved in the medical side. There's a lot of stuff that way ahead, and you see like all the stuff that makes sense. And, like I feel like people go to the hospital and use the software and the technology in the hospital, especially the specialists that are credentialed in the hospitals.
Yeah.
And then they come and they disconnect from the ward once they enter their practice and they open this adequate systems and they're trying to take care of the patients. It's very painful.
Right.
So my mission is to change that. And that's why the specialty, at least for me personally, and for DSN software in general, to change that. And to bring this specialty, if not like on par with other specialty, to be ahead. Like that's where we head.
No, I like it all. Do you guys have to include periodontist? I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I like perio. But any advice for oral surgeons or specialists coming out? As far as, because you said in the beginning that, specialists are great at what they do, right? We know how to do our work. The business aspect, the management aspect is a lot of times lacking because they don't really teach that in dental school or in med school even, so it's nice to have someone who's thinking about that on the software side, right?
I will say like technology is part of our everyday life.
Yeah.
Your patient use their phone every day. They go to medical practices. They have access to their data.
Yeah.
So investing in technology now needs to be part of your practice. You can't just stay on the side anymore. It's like it's a running business. You are the CEO of your practice. So you have to make decisions that matches that 100%.
And a lot of us are learning on the job. We're not by trade business people. Like we're physicians and doctors and dentists and whatever, but we're not technically, a lot of us aren't unless you majored in it.
And that's the thing is like, unfortunately, like doctors' entire thought and heart is geared toward patient care.
Yeah.
But the life and the industries around us right now will mandate you to be a full business owner as well, plus being a surgeon, a doctor, and care for your patients. For me, technology is part of patient care.
Yeah.
When patients have everything and have accessibility, their life is easier. They can fill the forms online. They can do it from their phones. You can verify their insurance ahead of time. You're making their journey easier. You're making them more informed. And there's no other option right now other than investing in that. So they need to keep up. They need to, unfortunately in a way, to invest in technology and get ahead.
I wish there was a way, and I don't even see how this could happen, but if there was a way that we could link medical information from the patient's primary care into the dental software, because a lot of times they're having to re-input their medical history, their medications and stuff. Like if there was some sort of way to do that, I don't see that happening in the future, like soon, but that would be nice because I think on our end, what we're doing is people forget to put stuff down. They put all their stuff down for their physician and then they come to their dental office or whatever and their periodontist or whoever and try to rewrite their medical history for a consultation, and they're omitting things. They're selectively not putting stuff in there that they're like, oh, it's just a dental visit. I don't need to put that I have, a necrotic foot, and so like things like that, they're just missed, right? Or I'm on a pain contract somewhere. And so I feel like down the line, if some way to do that, I don't see how that could happen yet, but that would be nice.
Probability and connectivity. There's a lot of initiatives right now in the US to make that happen.
Right.
So there is a big gap again between medical and dental, and the big victim of that, the people that do both, which is specialists, which is like a little bit of medical, a little bit of dental, and you live in that kind of gray area.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we get a lot of that. So you really have to ask the patients directly, like redo their histories every time, which is not, it's fine. It's just, it'd be nicer if there was a way to do that. Maybe in 10 years, you guys can get that done. And
hopefully DSN will find a solution to that issue.
That would be nice. Like, because I know with prescriptions, they're doing a better job of that, like tracking people's prescriptions, especially with narcotics, things like that. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming out. And if people have questions about DSN and the software and even the cloud-based DSN, like how do they contact you guys?
The best way is just like you can visit our website. There is a little form, contact us on our website. Our website is pretty easy, dsn.com. So I think that's the easiest, best way to learn more, to come in and get in touch with us. I will say, even if you just want to know what's out there, we appreciate feedback. We appreciate, like direction, even like, hey, come take a look, give us feedback. It might not work for you. Like you might look at it and you say like, I'm happy where I'm at, and that's fine. But we are really working hard to make a difference and make a change, and we appreciate any feedback we can get.
That's awesome. Is the cybersecurity component part of DSN, or is that a separate thing? How does that work?
No, I will say like cybersecurity it's a separate thing, but
Yeah.
everything we do with our cloud practice management software is also like focused a lot on cybersecurity. We
Right.
are hosted on one of the top most secure environment. We were actually featured with AWS recently on an article with AWS on the initiative
nice.
that we're doing on dental and to change the dental specialty. So yeah.
That's very cool. I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for having
All
me.
right.
I really appreciate it. If anybody have any question, we're always here at DSN, available to answer anything you all have.
Yeah, I am a user of DSN, so I concur. Take
Thank
care.
you so much.
Bye.